This is Adi Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And I want to shout out Mary Allen, Kendall Bell, the original, Big Reese, Will Smiths, My Blissful Life, Trudy McKnight, Wanda Wynn, Missy Williams, and Check My Footwork. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And I want to thank everybody for supporting this channel. I cannot say it enough because you have made this channel work for me, and I really appreciate it. And today I'm asking a simple question. Why is this man not minding his business?
To the black people that need to hear it, you're African. You're African, okay? You're not, maybe your great whatever was a different race. Who gives a fuck? You're an African person. And the fact that you think of these other people, these deviations in your family tree, that's self-hate.
There's something wrong with people like this. I believe that if a trained psychologist got a hold to him and listened to this conversation that he is having, that psychologist would tell him that he needs to look inside of himself to see what's missing within himself that makes him think that other people have to think like he thinks, and that he has a right to tell somebody whether or not they're self-hating based on what they choose to call themselves, based on their own life, their own lived experience, their own history, and their own family. It is something wrong with a person like this. And that person is projecting his lack of whatever it is he's missing onto other people. You are an African. And if you say you're not an African, you are self-hating. It doesn't matter what you're mixed with. It doesn't matter what your life experience is. It doesn't matter where you have lived for hundreds of years. You are African. Of all the problems that they are having in Africa, actual Africans, this is what he chooses to focus on. Other people's business. He has decided that it is his job to tell people who they are, not their job to decide who they are based on what they know about themselves, but his job to tell you who you are.
When all these other black people fill out your black ass family tree and you point out the two people that weren't black, why is that? You don't like being black?
This conversation is geared to Black Americans. Now, you will notice that we didn't hear anything like that from people like him, as long as the Africans were telling us that they weren't black and that we weren't African. We didn't hear anything from people like this. It was only after Black Americans drew the line, set the boundaries, and said, we are our own people. We are not African. And we are delineating from all of these other black people based on their behavior in this country. Now, all of a sudden, we have a problem. No, we don't have a problem. We do not have a problem. He has a problem. And his problem is that he is not comfortable being who he is. And these black people are right, who are saying that these people are upset because now they can't eat off our plate. They've been eating good. They've been getting fat and healthy by cosplaying Black Americans and by taking our accomplishments and trying to apply it to themselves when they wanted to. But when we draw the line, that's over. So now it's, oh, you hate yourself. You don't want to be black. It doesn't matter who your other people are. No. You have a problem, sir. You have a problem, and you need to address your problem. And then you need to address some of the problems that the people in Africa are having, since you seem to care about them so much.
You can't stand that they were African? They weren't African. They came here from Africa. Weren't they African? What's wrong with Africa? You don't like what happened to Africa? You don't like where Africa is right now? So you don't want to associate with it?
I think he's raised a fair point. I think there are some Black Americans who don't want to identify or associate with Africans. So, yes, I do think he's telling the truth about that. And again, it's based on the behavior they have shown since they have been coming to this country, the disrespect, the total lack of awareness about how they even got here. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think Black Americans at this point, right now, I think Black Americans have no interest in associating with Africans or identifying with Africans. So I know he's trying to say that to try to make it, trying to throw shade on us, but I think he's exactly right. If I had to call it, I would say, yeah, you're right. They don't want to associate with Africans. Now, please understand, I'm talking about the collective. I'm not talking about individuals because there are individual Black Americans who get along with Africans and Caribbeans and everybody else. But I'm talking about the collective.
Is that the African people's fault? Have you been to Africa? You should be proud. You should be proud of that you come from the same tree as them. You got taken away, you got planted elsewhere. That's where your roots are.
Well, many Black Americans feel like their roots are right here in the United States of America. When our ancestors, the ones who did come out of Africa, left the shores of Africa, they didn't leave as Africans. They left as chattel. So all this business about being proud, yeah, we're proud. We're proud of what they did here. We're proud of what they survived here. We're proud of what they accomplished here. Black Americans don't owe anybody a performance of Africanness. We don't owe anyone a label, and we don't owe anyone an identity explanation. We don't have to tell you who we are. We don't have to explain to you who we are. And we don't really need to try to convince you. You can believe what you want to believe. If you think we are self-hating because we don't call ourselves Africans, well, then you are free to believe that. But if you are an immigrant, you need to mind your business. Respect the people whose community you entered, because most of y'all are trying to get to the United States by hook or by crook. And stop trying to rewrite our identity to make yourself more comfortable. If you're an African, you be proud to be African. Be proud of who you are and go to Africa and help with the many problems that they have in Africa and stop running from Africa and then trying to tell somebody else they're African when they haven't been in Africa for 400 or 500 years. Mind your business. That's what this video is about. Minding your business. Okay, y'all, let me know what you think about the video and have a good evening.